One of the early mistakes I made in Afghanistan was going around telling people how we were there to try to help. And we did our best. We generally were sincere about that. We did our best about trying to help people, but they didn't see it that way. And so they would resist. They would slow roll, some would fight back, others would tell us what we want to hear and do something different. And finally, dawned on me was you had to gain buy-in. Once you gain buy-in, managing change is easy. That's what I want to talk about today, is managing change and doing that through getting buy-in. So there are three elements to getting buy-in. The first one is clarity. People have to know exactly what you want them to buy into. The second element is enlightened self-interest. So they have to genuinely believe that they're going to be better off by buying into the change than they are resisting it. Third, they've got to have confidence that the change is going to actually succeed. It's going to work. And you can see what happens when one of these elements is missing. So if you have clarity, people know what you want them to buy into, and they believe that they're going to be better off, but they have no confidence that it's going to work, then you're going to see certain behaviors. I'll call it indicators. So the indicators that you're in, number one, is that there's just simply going to be no effort. People aren't going to be applying effort to something that they think is just simply not going to work. I've been working recently with an organization that's had disputes between their management and their union. And they had clarity. They knew that they wanted their relationship to improve. They both knew that they would be better off if the relationship did improve and they could work together. They had no confidence that they could actually get it done. And so we put together just a basic 4-step process that built trust and confidence over time. And now this labor management relationships are back on track, and they're all serving the good of the organization. If you're at number 2, where you have clarity and confidence, but people don't believe they're going to be better off, in fact, they think they're going to be worse off, then what you're going to see is active resistance. People are going to slow roll, they're going to push back, they might even fight you on it. In Afghanistan, when we were doing projects, oftentimes we would hire outsiders to do projects, build a school or put in a small electrical micro hydro plant. And the way we thought we were helping, but from the point of view of the people, we were taking away jobs and economic opportunity, and so they would fight us on it. And then finally, when we came to the conclusion that this is going to be a whole lot easier when we get people's buy-in, and then we started doing that and making all the contracts local, the labor local, etc. Suddenly everybody's leaning in and they're moving in the right direction. No more resistance on these initiatives. If you're a number 3, where you've got self-interest and you've got confidence that something is going to work, but there's no clarity, then what you're going to get here are a lot of confusion and oftentimes a lot of fiefdoms. So you may have a case where somebody just simply, through lack of clarity, goes 100 miles an hour in the wrong direction. They think they know what you want, and they believe they're going to be better off. They know it's going to work, and they're going to go 100 miles an hour in the wrong direction. And then you're going to have to pull them back and say, wait a minute, this is not what I wanted. This happened to me once when I was consulting for a senior government official, and the senior government official wanted me to start up a new strategic thinking initiative. And of course, I thought it was a great idea. I'm ready to move 100 miles an hour. And then, of course, some of the people in the institution actually resisted. They thought that they might not be better off, that they would lose some things. And my approach was not creating buy-in. I started to move 100 miles an hour in the wrong direction. And finally, my boss had to reel me in and say, this isn't what I wanted, and we're not getting support, so we're going to have to shut this thing off. Big lesson learned for me. So the happy place, of course, is number 4. And the indicators of that are people are applying effort, they're moving the oars, they're moving the boat in the right direction with energy and enthusiasm, and intentionality. And when they do all of that, you are going to get great execution for your change. So this becomes an awesome diagnostic tool for you when you're trying to manage change. And so if the behavior that you're seeing from people is they're just applying no effort to implementing what you want to do, then chances are they're lacking in confidence. And you need to do things that boost their confidence in this initiative. If what you're seeing is active resistance, where people are pushing back, or maybe they're telling you one thing and doing something else, they're actively throwing obstacles in the way, so slow rolling, there's a really good chance that they believe that they're going to be worse off. And to work on ways where they see it as their interest, they come to the conclusion that it's in their interest to move forward. And you can't lecture people into believing something is in their interest. They have to see it for themselves. And third, if the behavior that you're seeing is people running around 100 miles an hour in the wrong direction or setting up little fiefdoms, then you probably have a clarity problem and you need to take action to address that. So as you go through these diagnoses and you determine what the challenge is, then one of the things that we can do is work together on specific tools to help you overcome those challenges.